You're listening to Making Money Online with Lisa Johnson, the podcast that tells you what it really takes to build a business and the simple steps to get you there. I'm determined to share with you the reality of easy, simple business marketing tips to make passive income so that you can start making money online. Hi, welcome to this week's podcast. So, what I want to talk about today, I'm a bit breathless today. Hopefully you won't get annoyed by my voice. I'm a bit wheezy, a bit breathless. But I wanted to talk to you about why you need a multi-approach business model. It's really important. I've been seeing a lot out there about not doing it. And therefore, I have to tell you why you need it. So I hear loads of things about doing evergreen for a start. So someone will say, oh, you need to do evergreen. You don't want to be doing launching. Evergreen is the way to do it. And for a while, it will become a trend. And I've seen this over 4 or 5 years of like every now and again, something will become popular. And then everybody will talk about that. And then it will disappear. And then another thing will become the way of doing things, whether launching or whatever. So at the moment, I'm seeing loads of people talking about doing evergreen. So what is evergreen? Evergreen is where you have something, let's say you have a course or some kind of group program, or a membership, but it's open all the time. So you can make money from it all the time. It's, you're not launching it in the traditional sense of you do a launch online where your course is open for enrollment for 5 days. You put all your effort into it for 5 days and then you close the doors and then you're in delivery mode. But people can't come in between the launching. Some people do launches 4 times a year, some people twice. My main program is only launched once a year, but we do make, millions from it each time. And so people find launching sometimes a bit difficult because you do put all your energy into it for a couple of weeks. And people say, oh, it's really stressful. The honest truth, launching shouldn't be stressful. If you're stressed out doing a launch, it means you're not preparing enough in advance or you're not doing it right or in alignment. But because people find launching a bit stressful, it's easy for people to come and go, oh, well, I'll teach you about evergreen. Evergreen is the new way, the easiest way of doing things. And I'll tell you why that's not necessarily true in a minute. But that's another way of doing things. That's one model, evergreen, launching, another model. And there's high tickets. You'll hear people going, forget launching or evergreen, forget any of these kind of things. The only way to make money really is to do high ticket. And high ticket means different things for different people. Some people think £5,000 is high ticket. Some people think 100,000 per person is high ticket. But they'll say, just sell high ticket, don't bother with any of the rest. Then other people say, well, actually, what you really need is tripwires. If you have like tiny offers, small offers, and have volume instead. So you've got lots and lots of people buying things that are quite reasonably priced, whether it's £5.99 or £30. It's, more reasonable than, say, a £9.97 product. So they say, just put loads of tripwires out there. A tripwire is something that is available as part of your funnel. So let's say you have a freebie out there. Someone signs up for your free thing, free PDF or whatever, workbook. And then it says, if you would like to buy my mini course or my workbook for £5.99, you can do that within the next hour. And so some people who go through that funnel will decide to buy that product. And so that's a tripwire. And actually what tripwires are generally used for is just to make money back from the ads. So we spend £5,000 a month on ads. We make more than £5,000 a month back from our tripwire because enough people buy it. So it's like getting free leads. So you don't really do a tripwire to make lots of money, but you can make a profit from it, like a self-liquidating offer. So some people will say, just do that, just learn how to do that. But let's be honest here. In reality, there are a million ways to make £1 million. We know that. And not one of these things is better than another. And in fact, our business, we started with just high ticket, just one-to-one, just high ticket. Then we added in launching. Then we added in tripwires. Then we added in evergreen, but properly evergreen. And all have worked amazingly, but in an ecosystem where they all help each other. It doesn't work to just do one of these things. The whole point of it is having an ecosystem where one feeds off the other, where one type of model makes your other model work better. So, for instance, I am going to be as daring to say that I don't think you will ever find anyone making more money on Evergreen per month than they make in launches. Because basically, because you need Facebook ads for Evergreen. You don't for launching. If you're not using Facebook ads for Evergreen, it means all you're doing is hustling. All you're doing is constantly having to sell. True Evergreen just means automation. Everything's automated. Someone sees a Facebook ad, then they come and go into a training that you've done that's already recorded. Then they get emails about some course that you have, and then they buy it from there. That's true Evergreen. And they can opt in for that Facebook ad at any point. They can see that Facebook ad at any point. And yet there are people teaching Evergreen that aren't doing it that way. What they're actually doing is messaging people in their DMs constantly, all day, every day. If you're messaging people all day in your DMs, that's a lot harder work than launching for a week or two. So you have to really be careful about what Evergreen means to each person, because if one person is calling it Evergreen, but it means they're sitting, with their sales team all day doing cold outreach to people on LinkedIn or wherever, saying, do you want to buy this thing? And using a script to do it, to me, that's not Evergreen. Evergreen should be passive. You should be able to wake up in the morning with more money in your bank account than when you went to bed. That's the whole point to me of Evergreen. So, but, we know that Evergreen can mean different things to different people. But if you're teaching that Evergreen is easier, then that's misleading, because hustling all day, every day to get people on your programs is not easier than launching. So always ask what the method is. The thing I think works well for us is having this multi-layered ascension model. What I mean by that, let me explain the jargon. But when I talk about multi-layered, I mean not just one thing. So, we have tripwires that bring us the ad spend in. We also upsell from those tripwires into our Evergreen programs like Fabulous Foundations, which is a course that you can buy whenever you like, a business basics course. It's Evergreen. It's automated on Facebook ads. We don't sell it. We might put some stuff in our regular weekly emails at the bottom saying how people can buy it from us. But you never catch me DMing anyone. Like, I don't do any of that kind of selling. And then from there, we also have launching. So people come into One-to-Many or Affiliate Genius, and they are launched programs that we do once a year. We then have a mastermind that's 20,000 going up to 30,000. So that's our high ticket. So how we do that is we do a high ticket offer. We go to people that we already think would be good for it and tap them on the shoulder and say, hey, do you want to come into this thing? We might do a few social media posts as well. So we have the high ticket. People pay me up to 50,000 for one-to-one over a year as well. So that would be classed, I suppose, as high ticket. But it's about having all of these things working together. So that's what I mean by multi-layered. When I talk about an ascension model, it's like, if you see it in your head like some steps. So, for instance, someone might come in and see a freebie from me, like our launch guide. If you ever want to see any of my freebies, by the way, if you go onto my website, lisajohnson.com, there's an actual freebies section. And in there are all of my free offers. And one of them is a launch guide. So we might have that on a Facebook ad, come here to find my free launch guide for 2022. And so they'll click onto that and they'll get that. They will also get an offer to buy my Tripwire, which is changing at the moment, but it was Creating Communities, a 2-part mini course for about £47. Now, some people will buy this, so that covers the ad spend. So that's that part of the ecosystem that's worked. But the ascension model means they've just gone up a step. They came in on a freebie, now they've bought something cheap, which is a Tripwire, so they've walked up one step. They'll then get upsells from that to either my membership, or, which is my recurring revenue engine, which is another model, that's why it's multi-layered, or to my Evergreen product, Fabulous Foundations. But so far, this is all automated. And this is where it gets great, because all of the ads are being paid for by the Tripwire. So then everyone that takes the upsell to the Evergreen or to the membership is making you pure profit through automation. So let's say they go into the membership. So they might start out in the membership, which is the lowest price thing per month. And then they get to know our world and how we teach and whether they like me or not. They get to know whether my values match theirs, because I think that's really important. And then they might take the next step and do my Evergreen Business Basics course, Fabulous Foundations. And once they've started to make a bit of money from that, they'll step up and they'll see me launch One-to-Many. and they'll enjoy the launch, the challenge that I normally do, and so they might buy that. So they can add to their business model. So they're not just doing one-to-one. And then I have a hybrid program that's evergreen, that's starting mid-year this year. And that's like a rolling mastermind group program kind of mix. And it's the step up. So if you think about OTM being around £2,000 and you learn all you need to know about passive income, the next thing was my mastermind. So there was too big a gap in an ascension model, kind of multi-layered model. You imagine yourself going up those steps. Suddenly you have to cross 10 steps with one foot, and you're not going to be able to do it. So when you see that, when you're looking at your own business model and you see a gap, you plug the gap. So we're plugging it with what all of our audience asked for, which is kind of a group program rolling mastermind mix. And it's the step up from OTM. It's a mix of pathways to scale your business to around 100K. So they would then go on to that. And from there, a few will go into my mastermind. So that's the high ticket part of the model. We had 30 people do that this year at 20K. It will likely double next year and have less people in it. But in this one, you get our best program, which is Affiliate Genius, because that's the way to scale past the million mark. So it's all about looking at this ascension model, looking at these steps up and up and up. And a handful of people will book me for one-to-ones at the 50K, at the top end of that. But if a person stays in the ascension ladder, if they walk up all these steps, they'll often stay in the membership, the recurring revenue part of the engine, the model, the whole way through, because they can get clients from there and network too. So it's not just about learning for them, it's where they get clients. So it works for them. So hopefully you can sort of see how those steps work. So when you see people saying, you need to be doing evergreen, you need to be doing launching, or you need to do tripwires, you need to do high ticket, you need to do recurring revenue, just know that you need to be doing all of them. It doesn't mean you have to do them all at once, but the best way to have a model that's really sustainable in case one part goes wrong and one part doesn't work. If you put all your eggs in one basket, you can see how if you're only doing one-to-one high ticket and suddenly something happens with the economy, you don't have a business anymore. Whereas if you have 5 or 6 different multi-layers of your model, you're always going to have a sustainable business. And it works for the people. It's not just about you. It works for your clients, because your clients can learn something from you and step up to the next bit and then step up to the next bit until they're where you are. And I've made several millionaires because they've gone through this ascension model. So, you can see how we have all the different models in there, from recurring revenue engine, that's the membership making us $500,000 a year, through to Evergreen, the main signature group program that is quite extensive. It's the main thing we do, one to many, and we're known for it, to then going on to the high ticket. So it's not a choice of doing one. You eventually want to do them all in an automated way so that you have more time. What you don't want to do is be hustling for each thing. And we see this all the time, people putting out a different course every month. Now I'm launching this, now I'm launching this. That's when launching gets really difficult, because you're only doing one model over and over again. Or we see people going, I'm not launching anymore, I'm just doing Evergreen. When what they actually mean is they're making, a couple of grand a month from Evergreen because they're using ads on that, or they're DMing people the whole time, or having to, constantly be selling, or have a big sales team to do it. Whereas if you do Evergreen in an automated way, using Facebook ads with tripwires, it all supports each other. It's like a little business ecosystem of its own. And we've tweaked and played with different things to see what works and what doesn't work. And this 6-point business model is the one that's really, really worked well for us, and still means I have a lot of time. I still don't work over 30 to 40 hours a month, because I don't have to, because all of the automation is doing it for me. But it's not completely automated, because I still want that connection with people. So I'm still going live all the time and chatting to people online. I'm just not doing it in the way that some other people are. So if you're looking at adding more income streams so you can build out this business model, this multi-layered business model to your current business model, maybe you're doing one or two of those things already, then I welcome you to come into Race to Recurring Revenue, which I know I spoke about last week. It starts on the 21st of March. It's a free challenge, and it is the one I do every year. It's the one people love every year, and it's about adding in income streams like memberships, courses, group programs, that kind of thing into your business model, especially if what you're doing right now is mainly one-to-one or small group programs and it's not working as well as you'd like it to. I'm going to teach you about over 4 days about how it can work for you and all of the pieces of the jigsaw that you need in place. Because I think the biggest problem with coaches and marketers that are teaching all of these different parts is that they're only teaching one part of the jigsaw puzzle. If you're talking about Evergreen, that's one part of the jigsaw puzzle. If you're talking about launching, it's another. Tripwise, it's another. Like, you need to learn the whole thing. So I'll be talking to you over the whole thing from the Monday, the 21st of March. And you can sign up in the show notes. There's a link there. Or you can sign up on my Instagram, which is Lisa Johnson Strategist, or on my Facebook. If you're there in my Facebook group, you will see me talking about it everywhere. And you will be able to see how you can launch without it being a hassle, because that's exactly what I'm going to do afterwards. I'm going to launch my program. You can watch and take some tips from that. I hope that helps. Hope you understand what I mean by having a multi-layered business model and how it can really work for you, and to take some things on the internet with a pinch of salt. If people are shouting about only doing Evergreen, it means they've just not got very good at doing launching. If people are shouting about only launching, it just means that they've not got Evergreen in place yet. It's about doing all the different things and getting good at them and adding them all into your business stream so you can become a very diversified, sustainable, long-term business model. We'll have a chat about this on my Facebook group, the Fabulous 5%. If you want to come in there, we will have a little thread up where we can talk about it. And hopefully I'll see you in the challenge. See you next week for another episode. Thank you for listening to Making Money Online with Lisa Johnson. If you'd like to get hold of my guide to launching, go to lisajohnson.com/launch and let's get you making money online.